$4.2 billion, 3 years of construction, 400 Iranian naval engineers and technicians, 43 underwater nodes, 14 coastal monitoring stations, all of it built in complete secrecy beneath the Persian Gulf. Iran's most ambitious naval intelligence program ever attempted. In this scenario, it lasted until 1:43 a.m. Not because Iranian engineers made a mistake, not because the system was poorly designed, not because Tehran ran out of money or time, because the U.S. Navy had been watching it being built for 26 months. Every node, every cable junction, every acoustic relay station, every power source, all of it mapped, all of it targeted, all of it waiting for one decision from U.S. Naval Command. At 1:43 a.m., in this simulation, that decision was made. 34 minutes later, Iran's $4.2 billion investment was dark, because every node silent, every coastal station neutralized, every acoustic relay gone. The program that was supposed to give Tehran permanent underwater awareness of every American vessel in the Persian Gulf had never transmitted a single operational data point. We've all invested in something we believed was completely hidden, a plan so carefully constructed that no one could know about it until we were ready, and then discovered, at the worst possible moment, that it had been visible the entire time. That is what happened to Iran's $4.2 billion secret program. Except the stakes were not a personal plan, they were the strategic balance of the Persian Gulf. This is that story. But in this scenario, to understand why Tehran invested $4.2 billion in an underwater sensor network, you need to understand what that network would have meant if it had worked. The Persian Gulf is shallow. Average depth 50 meters. These conditions make it one of the most difficult operating environments for American submarines. Virginia-class boats, designed for deep ocean operations, operate at the absolute limit of their comfortable depth range in these waters. Their acoustic signature in shallow water is higher than in deep ocean. Their maneuver room is constrained. Their tactical options are limited. Iran understood this and built a program specifically around it. A distributed network of underwater acoustic monitoring stations, positioned across the Persian Gulf floor, could track every American submarine operating in these waters. Every destroyer transit, every carrier approach, every special operations insertion, all of it visible to Iranian Naval Command in real time. With that awareness, Iran's entire military doctrine in the Persian Gulf changes. Swarm attacks timed to carrier vulnerabilities, missile strikes coordinated with submarine positions, mine-laying operations timed to destroyer patrol gaps. In this simulation, $4.2 billion for complete awareness, complete coordination, complete advantage. The most sophisticated Iranian attempt to level the intelligence playing field in the Persian Gulf, built in secret over 3 years, watched by American intelligence for 26 months of those 3 years. Here is the part of this scenario that Tehran never understood. The Persian Gulf is not a hidden space. It is one of the most intensively monitored bodies of water on Earth. In this scenario, USS Indiana had been conducting rotating deployments in the Persian Gulf since Iran's construction program began. Its advanced sonar arrays, passive generating zero detectable emissions, recorded every acoustic signature associated with underwater construction activity. The sound of drilling equipment, the sound of cable-laying vessels, the sound of construction divers working at depth, all of it building a precise acoustic map of where Iran's network was being installed. Above the surface, U.S. Navy undersea warfare satellites. Thermal imaging sensors detecting the temperature differential created by underwater construction equipment. Every installation location confirmed from orbit. And the P-8A Poseidon fleet, rotating continuous operations from Al Udeid Air Base. Magnetic anomaly detection sensors mapping every metallic object placed on the Persian Gulf floor. Sonobuoy arrays confirming acoustic signatures. A persistent aerial surveillance picture that never had a gap. In this simulation, by month 8 of Iran's construction program, U.S. Naval Command had a complete map of the network being built. By month 14, they had identified the most critical nodes. By month 22, they had complete targeting solutions loaded for every element of the network. Iran spent 26 months building a surveillance system. The U.S. Navy spent 26 months watching them build it and preparing to end it in 34 minutes, 1:43 a.m. In this scenario, U.S. Naval Command activates Operation EA-18G Growlers launch from USS Gerald R. Ford, 4 aircraft, climbing to 24,000 feet. Mission: sever all 14 Iranian coastal monitoring stations from the underwater network simultaneously. 1:47 a.m. Growlers reach operational altitude. Final electronic confirmation of all 14 coastal stations active, all transmitting, all unaware. 1:52 a.m. P-8A Poseidon deploys 47 sonobuoys in precise positions above every mapped node. Real-time acoustic confirmation of complete network activity transmitted to Ford Combat Direction Center via Link 16. 1:54 a.m. Complete network confirmed active, 43 nodes, 14 stations, all operational. That's all targeted. 1:57 a.m. EA-18G Growlers activate in 6.4 seconds. All 14 Iranian coastal monitoring stations electronically severed from the underwater network. Iranian operators watching screens go dark simultaneously. No warning, no gradual signal loss. Simply dark. In this simulation, Iranian Naval Command begins attempting emergency contact with all 14 stations. No response from any of them. 1:58 a.m. USS Indiana activates AN/BLQ-10 electronic warfare system from beneath the surface. Directed at underwater acoustic relay stations, network coordination between nodes begins collapsing. The system Iran built to give Tehran awareness of American movements, now receiving conflicting signals from an American submarine it cannot detect. 2:01 a.m. USS Gerald R. Ford launches Strike Wave 12 F/A 18 Super Hornets, JSOW glide bombs, and modified Mark 54 lightweight torpedoes, targeting all 14 coastal monitoring stations. 2:03 a.m. P-8A launches Mark 54 torpedo salvo, 12 deep network acoustic relay stations, each one mapped to within 2 meters. Bottom strike configuration, silent approach. 2:04 a.m. First JSOW glide bombs reach coastal stations, sequential detonations along 800 kilometers of Iranian coastline. All 14 stations neutralized within 90 seconds. 2:07 a.m. Mk-54 torpedoes reach bottom strike coordinates, 12 deep acoustic relay stations, sequential detonations across the Persian Gulf floor. The coordination layer of Iran's network gone. 2:09 a.m. USS Indiana and USS Connecticut activate coordinated active sonar sweep, 19 remaining shallow water sensor nodes, disabled by acoustic overpressure at close range. No additional weapons required. The nodes simply stop. 2:11 a.m. P-8A confirms 0 active acoustic signatures from any node in Iran's network. Complete network neutralized. 2:14 a.m. EA-18G Growlers stand down. 2:17 a.m. USS Gerald R. Ford Combat Direction Center transmits operational assessment. In this scenario, 43 nodes, 14 coastal stations, $4.2 billion, 3 years, 34 minutes, done. In this scenario, the silence from Iranian Naval Command said everything. By 2:17 a.m., every element of Iran's $4.2 billion program was dark. Every coastal station neutralized, every underwater node silent. The system that was supposed to make the Persian Gulf permanently visible to Tehran, gone. Iranian Naval Command could not report the loss publicly. Reporting it required admitting the program existed. Not admitting the program existed required explaining why a $4.2 billion classified underwater surveillance network had been built in the Persian Gulf and then destroyed in 34 minutes by a U.S. Navy that had been watching it being built for 26 months. In this simulation, Iranian state media said nothing specific. A brief reference to American military aggression in the Persian Gulf. No details. No acknowledgement of what had been lost. Allied intelligence networks told the complete story. Intercepted Iranian naval communications. Frantic attempts to reach 14 coastal stations, receiving no response. Satellite thermal imagery showing simultaneous detonation signatures at all 14 coastal station locations. Acoustic recordings from 2 Virginia-class submarines capturing the complete sequence of network collapse, from initial growler jamming through final node deactivation, and a single operational note from USS Gerald R. Ford. In this scenario, Iran's underwater sensor network, neutralized. Persian Gulf, clear. Closing monologue. Here is what Tehran's collapse actually revealed. Iran did not fail because their engineers were not capable. The underwater sensor network they built was genuinely sophisticated. The concept, persistent underwater surveillance of American naval movements in the Persian Gulf, was strategically sound. The investment, $4.2 billion, was serious. The execution, 43 nodes across the Persian Gulf floor, was technically impressive. It failed for one reason. The Persian Gulf is not a hidden space. It is the most intensively monitored body of water on Earth. Virginia-class submarines recording acoustic signatures continuously. Satellites mapping thermal and magnetic anomalies from orbit. P-8A Poseidons maintaining persistent aerial coverage. A surveillance architecture so complete and so persistent that building anything significant on the Persian Gulf floor without American knowledge is, in this simulation, effectively impossible. Iran spent $4.2 billion on a program they believed was invisible. It was visible from the first day of construction. Every node mapped as it was installed, every cable run tracked as it was laid, every acoustic relay station identified as it was activated for testing. A 26-month intelligence collection operation that gave U.S. Naval Command a more complete picture of Iran's network than Iranian engineers had themselves. And then 34 minutes to make sure it never transmitted a single operational data point. Tehran invested $4.2 billion to answer a question. In this scenario, the U.S. Navy answered it first. The Persian Gulf is open. The network is dark. 2 Virginia-class submarines are on patrol, watching as they always have been, as they always will be. Here is what I want to know from you. In this scenario, Iran spent $4.2 billion and 3 years building an underwater surveillance network that U.S. naval intelligence watched being constructed for 26 months before neutralizing it in 34 minutes. Does this scenario change how you think about the possibility of any nation building secret military infrastructure in the Persian Gulf? Or do you think a more sophisticated construction program, deeper nodes, better acoustic masking, slower installation timelines could eventually defeat American surveillance? Comment below. I read every single one. If this breakdown changed how you understand intelligence dominance and underwater warfare, hit the like button and subscribe, because the next classified file is already being unlocked. Trust me, you will not want to miss it. The events, dialogues, military operations, and outcomes depicted in this video are entirely fictional and created purely for educational and entertainment purposes. This is a hypothetical what-if scenario based on publicly available information about real-world military capabilities, weapon systems, and geopolitical tensions. No part of this video should be interpreted as a factual report of real events. All military engagements, casualty figures, and operational details shown are dramatized and do not represent actual incidents. We do not glorify war or violence. Our goal is to analyze military technology and doctrine in an engaging format. Viewer discretion is advised.